class, special 10th grade. Well, guys, last time, couple of days before, we had a session in which we dealt one of the simplest grammar session, had better. Those who have watched the video and have any queries, it can be addressed in the comment box of your certain group. Today, I'm going to introduce you the question of comprehension. You may be wondered, what the question of comprehension? Comprehend means understand, read and reflect. Read a certain paragraph and answer the questions given below. You may think that it's very easy. It's not easy for all time, as having a track record of reading only will help you to write the right answer for the certain question. For example, you may think that I am good at reading, but reading doesn't mean that you simply able to pronounce the words and sentences. It means whether you understand the entire passage, whether you are able to connect the ideas, whether you are able to answer the questions given below, whether you are able to understand the questions well. So we are going to practice it, how to manage question of comprehension. Question of comprehension contains 20 marks for every exam. Means whether it is Onam exam, Christmas exam, model exam, public exam, you will have to answer 20 mark question of comprehension. For example, the examination, the first question itself is question of comprehension. Giving a passage, a textual passage, you'll have to answer 5 questions, followed by a poem. Have to answer 4 or 5 questions. Later you will see another passage from outside. You have 5 questions. And for the graphic representation, table and other things, you will have 5 mark questions to be attended. Altogether 20 marks for every exam. 20 mark questions of comprehension. That's really a good proportion of the mark. So today I'm going to practice you how to answer question of comprehension. Let's start with our first chapter. The first chapter is, for us, the 10th grade, the first chapter is Adventures in a Banyan Tree. Adventures in a Banyan Tree by Ruskin Bond. We'll have a detailed class about Ruskin Bond if it's needed in the future classes. Here we are focusing only how to answer the question of comprehension. I'm going to read only the first paragraph from the chapter, and after that I'll make you to answer the questions that I ask you from the passage, given passage. So let me read the story. The story is written by Ruskin Bond, I already said. Ruskin Bond is an Indian writer, though he is a British descent. Descent means his origin. Actually, he is a British man, but almost all his writings are about Indians, especially about children. Okay, so that's all about Ruskin Bond for the time being. Here we go with the chapter. The chapter is titled, it's a story, it's titled Adventures in a Banyan Tree. Adventures in a Banyan Tree. Adventures is the plural form of adventure. What does the word adventure mean? Adventure, an interesting, exciting but dangerous activity. Adventure means it's an interesting activity, exciting activity. At the same time, it's very dangerous. For example, skating. Skating is very interesting, isn't it? Really interesting for the boys and girls like you, teenagers. Skating is very interesting, very exciting, At the same time, it's very dangerous if you lose the balance. Another is rock climbing. Rock climbing is an adventure. That means rock climbing is interesting, exciting, at the same time it's dangerous. Next, rock climbing. Rock climbing is an adventure. That means rock climbing is interesting, exciting, at the same time it's very dangerous. So adventures is the plural form of adventure. Hope you understand the word adventure. Other word for similar word for adventure are, that is an experience, an incident, or avenger. So adventures in a banyan tree. Banyan tree, I don't know whether you are familiar with. Some guys must be familiar with banyan tree, others may not. Banyan tree is closely connected to God Krishna, tiny tot Krishna. Tiny tot Krishna, tot Krishna is placed on the banyan leaf. You might have seen the pictures, banyan leaves. Krishna, the kid, the small, tiny tot Krishna was placed on the banyan leaf. So I hope you understood what the banyan tree is. For more, banyan tree is a large tree, it's a magnificent tree, it's a special tree, it's a grand tree. It's entirely different from other trees. It has got a lot of specialities. For example, let's take the branches of the banyan tree. As for a tree, it's a root, trunk, and branches. As for the banyan tree branches, it normally spread and curve, bend to the ground and root again, then these roots interconnect, forming a maze of arches. I hope you understood what banyan tree is. It's a grand tree having its branches curved to the ground. From there, rooted again. These roots interconnects and forming maze of arches, forming arches there. Then there would be many interconnected branches around the main tree trunk. Okay, it's a grand tree, banyan tree. So there are going to be lots of interesting, exciting, dangerous things in the banyan tree or there around the banyan tree, we don't know. After reading the story, understand the story, we will get what exactly is. So I'm going to read the story here. I don't think you have a textbook with you, because no chance for getting textbook for the time being. Lockdown entirely make all of us locked in. So, but as for some students whose siblings are there, brothers or sister completed 10th grade, can be had the textbook. I think textbook can be had at home. Leave it, and if you don't have the textbook, please listen my reading. Okay, I'm gonna read the first paragraph. After reading, I will explain the paragraph, and after that some 5 questions would be asked. Then you have to answer the 5 questions. Clear? First of all, let me read the first paragraph. Though the house and grounds of our home in India were grandfather's domain, the magnificent banyan tree was mine, chiefly because grandfather, at the age of 65, could no longer climb it. Grandmother used to tease him about this and would speak of certain Countess of Desmond, an English woman who lived to the age of 117 and would have lived longer if she hadn't fallen while climbing an apple tree. The spreading branches of the banyan tree, which curved to the ground and rooted again, forming maize